August 31st, 2012, Friday. First team had lived out the week they were hoping to have at Alpha. Their first win, a coach that was teaching them the secrets of superhero combat, a team that was on the rise, being educated by the world's best, and friends that worked together. Darkspeed had lost his sour face and was even caught smiling once and again. Midas now thought he was in some kind of child superhero fantasy. She was quick to vidphone her father every day. They seemed to have something in common they never had before. Olympian was simply a machine that enjoyed the daily grind. Every day he pushed himself harder. Bioforce and Virtuoso had really taken on their roles as the intellect of the team. Bioforce was learning medicine, biochemistry, and genetics faster than Miss Waldron had ever seen anyone learn anything. Virtuoso finally talked to Miss Waldron about what learning style was best for her, and she started pulling data directly out of Miss Waldron's head by touch. Virtuoso had approached IQ and asked him if she could access his memories. IQ gave a sly Irish grin and asked her if she really wanted to know what went on in a boy's head. Ultimately, Virtuoso liked IQ and was fascinated at how his mind worked. It wasn't just memories she pulled down, but how to think. She gained insight that she never had. Her mind seemed to expand. IQ asked that she do with him what she did to Bioforce when she studied. IQ and Virtuoso started spending more time doing academics together. In one instance, she joined IQ and the others in the lab when they were working on a complex problem. Virtuoso saw part of the puzzle being formulated in each mind around her. She opened up a telepathic party line for the lab rats. Then she did something she had never tried before. She made the connection so strong that they could share concepts and unformed thoughts. Answers to problems flowed from their collective minds. The lab rats were hooked and Virtuoso was accepted into their ranks. Bioforce spent the week grinding away at her specialty. Her intelligence was high, but not super. Virtuoso had helped her with facts and figures, but she had her own lab. While Virtuoso was with the lab rats and the others in combat training, Bioforce was in a medical research lab with one of the Miss Waldrons. Miss Waldron had agreed to tutor her extra, and the time spent was paying off. Bioforce really started to think of herself as a doctor in training that just happened to be a superhero. Her specialty classes went hand in hand with her academic classes, and the extra time all worked toward the same goal. Morning exercises and the time she had to spend firing N-guns seemed to detract from what she wanted to do. Today, during academic time, Miss Waldron gave the class another intelligence test. This one seemed a little more difficult than the last one. Each test was tailored to the person taking the test and skipped questions considered too easy for them. Later, at the end of the coach's class time, Connors told all of First Team to report to the pit directly after specialties and dinner. First Team arrived at the pit and found the pit had been set up different. All of 8th Team showed up with their coach in tow. The obstacle course that was used to judge agility was back in place. "Get harnessed with Lucy. I need to gauge your progress. I told Coach Inferno that we will be checking the progress you're making from our morning exercise program. So, no combat training tonight," Connors said as he led them to the dugout. "No combat training? You're killing me," Olympian said. "I know, I'm cruel. Now hurry up." Each member of both teams ran the agility course 3 times. Connors kept track of what each alpha did. He then had Midas disassemble the course and move it to the area closer to the mock town. Connors handed Virtuoso a note while the younger alpha was busy. Strength tests were next. Olympian kept asking what he lifted, but Connors kept the information from him. The other team members were also curious. They ran the endurance test and were just as winded as before. Durability test and speed test took another hour. During the durability test, Connors used his strength to impact Olympian, hoping for an accurate durability rating. Connors then sat to look over the notes on his clipboard. Lucy came out of the dugout with a printout. "You could always just get a laptop like a normal person," Lucy said to Connors. "Old dogs and dirty tricks. You know how it is," Connors said. Virtuoso held a rock in her hand about the size of a grapefruit. "Midas, see if you can make a sword before this gets to She. Think fast." Virtuoso lobbed the rock to She. Midas reacted without thinking. His hand snapped out and his power fired off. "There!" She caught the sword in her hand and sheathed it on her back in one fluid move. "Thanks." Virtuoso's mouth opened. "You were right! He did it!" Midas and the others watched Virtuoso jump up and down. "What's her deal?" Darkspeed asked. "He made the sword! Did you see? He made the sword!" So, he does that all the time, she said. Yeah, he turns stuff into other stuff all the time, Olympian said. Connors walked over with his reports in his hands. Virtuoso, tell them about the rock he just transformed, he said. Virtuoso was brimming with excitement. There was no rock. It was an illusion that I made. Midas looked confused. What are you saying? You made the sword out of nothing. You created the matter that the sword is made of, Virtuoso said. Do you know what this means? I mean, I knew your power was strong, but to create matter like that is off the chart, she said. Midas, you've been creating matter from the start. Remember the gold you made out of desert? All the extra weight came from somewhere, Connors said. Where? Midas asked. You made it, dummy, Virtuoso said forcefully. You made the sword because you thought you could. Get it? Midas was still trying to wrap his head around what she was telling him when Connors interrupted. Everyone back to the dorms and get cleaned up. I'll be there to talk about your results shortly. Get moving. Virtuoso teleported first team back to their common room. Reggie was finishing setting up a buffet table that was packed with foods from all over the world. The presentation and detail reminded them of things they had only seen on TV. Is this for us? Olympian was the first to eye the food. I am to inform you that you are not to have anything until you are cleaned up and Coach Connors is present, Reggie said. The Alphas didn't question. They quickly made their way to their rooms. Connors was waiting for them when they came out. He was standing in front of one of the long couches and instructed first team to sit.